Hello everyone. I have a couple muzzleloaders I thought I'd talk about today. I don't know if you can see my shirt, but it's my cleanest dirty Dixie Gunworks t-shirt. And I've been kind of a fan of their products for quite a few years. Probably going back to when I was a teenager. But the two rifles I want to show you today were probably their best sellers and probably the two rifles that they came in a kit form or also complete, and both mine were complete as far as I know. I didn't buy them new. I bought them used. So I'll give you a quick look over here. And we have the Tennessee mountain rifle, which is kind of a poor boy rifle. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of, extras. There's no nose cap, there's no inlays, there's no patch box. It's percussion, and it's a 50 caliber. I think it has a 1 in 66 twist. You got cats everywhere. And this one I picked up about a year ago. And this is their Kentucky rifle. It's just a single trigger, whereas the Tennessee mountain rifle does have a set trigger, and boy, it has a hair trigger. You can set that almost to where you can blow on it and set it off. This one does have a patch box, and it's a nice looking gun. Now both these rifles, although I bought them probably 25 years apart from one another, I paid $200 for each of them. And this one I picked up last September. Or no, it was October. Doesn't really matter, I guess. But I have not fired this one yet. Because with the great supply shortage with COVID and everything else, I couldn't find any black powder. As opposed to a percussion gun, you really want to use black powder, or so I've been told with a flint. I finally did find some 4F powder for the pan used. Someone had a secret stash at their gun shop of their personal powder, and I got that. And then I've been looking for 3F black powder, which can't find anywhere, but I got talking to my dad, and he's like, oh, sure, I got some 3F. So now I can go out and fire it sometime when they're not around with their dog, because their dog is terrified of anything that goes bang. This one is a 40 caliber round ball, and I don't remember what the twist is offhand, but this thing, I don't think it was ever shot. I think it was hung on a wall when I got it. The finish on it was pretty bleached out. I just used some Balstal on it and kind of brought some sheen back to it. And, it's, I don't want to say it was surface rust, but the barrel had never been oiled. And there's like little flecks of paint all over it. I think someone just bought it new, hung it over a fireplace or something, and they probably croaked, and then their kids sold it to the gun shop I bought it from. So I don't think it's ever been fired. It has a hell of a trigger pull, though. It's not as bad as it was, but it throws a spark. But it's got to be probably a 12, 13 pound trigger pull. So that should be interesting. Getting to learn. Came with 3 extra flints when I bought it. It was missing a ramrod, which I bought a ramrod from I believe I bought those from Dixie. I did buy the ramrod fittings from Track of the Wolf. So they're ready to go. They're ready to shoot, and maybe I should call this part 1 as far as video goes, but because I would like to make a video of shooting them. And then these are kind of I have a lot of black powder books, but these are kind of my go-tos. The Black Powder Handbook by Sam Fadela. And this one's Toby Bridges. I know Toby Bridges is pretty much an inline guy, but this book actually had some information on these 2 rifles. And this was initially, and it's Mark Turner Kirkland, not Dixie Gunworks. This is pre-Dixie Gunworks. Turner Kirkland was the owner of Dixie Gunworks, and his family still owns it today. They're in Union City, Tennessee. And it says in 1963, this was changed to .45 caliber. So we know it predates that. My dad has a .40 caliber kit that he bought back in the 60s when he was a young man. And they're very similar. I think the only big difference is, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a little critter engraved on that lock plate there. Real quickly, these retailed for by late 1955. He contracted the manufacturer to assemble the first modern-made production muzzleloader, which is this squirrel rifle in quotations, which retailed for $79.50. So it certainly wasn't cheap when it came out. The Dixie Squirrel Rifle may not have been a true reproduction of any particular gun from the past, but it did represent the first true modern manufactured muzzleloader in the market. So they did make these in Belgium. This one. And let's see if I can find the other little write-up Toby Bridges had in his book here. And this is the Tennessee mountain rifle. Like I said, it's a poor boy type rifle. And it has a real low serial number, so I assume this is one of the first ones made. This one was made by Moroku in Japan. It's got a cherry stock. And Moroku is the one who's currently manufacturing the Winchester line of rifles, which they're pretty nice looking rifles. I would like to pick one up, but they're a little pricey. I mean, you could probably find an original one close to what you're going to pay for that, but let's see if I can find a little factoid here. It says some are built with crescent steel butt plate, often a side plate and a nose cap, and sometimes with a long, slender patch box, commonly known as a banana shaped. Of course, you've seen those if you ever looked at a true piece of art type. Kentucky rifle, Tennessee rifle, Pennsylvania rifle. This says back in 1978, Dixie Gunworks introduced the outstanding reproduction of a higher than average grade of southern long rifle called the Dixie Tennessee Mountain Rifle. And I know the day that I bought this, it was a Civil War shoot. They held, I think it was the second weekend of every August at a local military bombing range, and they would go out there and they would shoot their, I can't think of the North-South Skirmish Association, I believe, was the sponsor of it, or they followed those rules. But they would bring out long rifles, handguns, cannons, and shoot it at the bombing range. And there was a couple vendors there, and one of the vendors was Lodgewood out of Janesville, Wisconsin, and they're still in business. But they had this one, and they had a 32 caliber version, which was a little bit shorter. They were both $200, and boy, I wish I would have had $400 in my pocket that day, because I would have bought both of them. But I went with the 50 because I thought, well, you know, I could always use this. I'm more likely to go deer hunting than small game hunting, but that's why I bought the 50. But so I don't think I did too bad here on either one of these rifles. They're very attractive looking, you know, reproduction or replica, I guess would be the correct term, of, you know, rifles of that era. Well, my dogs must have seen a squirrel. Dogs. So I'm hoping at some point this fall I can take these out and shoot them. Like I said, I have everything I need now to make the flintlock go bang. And if I do that, I'll post a video of it. Or I'll attempt to post a video of it. My video production skills aren't, well, let's just say everything's a single take still. And we'll take a look at them in action. Jed, did you have anything you wanted to add? Jed, anything you want to add to this? No, I didn't think so. I got cats and dogs everywhere. But at any rate, thanks for watching. And that's all for now.